Hi, welcome to Market Alert for Wednesday, 6th of November 2019. And the main news for Bitcoin, as it attempts to move higher, stuck in the sideways range, is that it keeps falling at this key price hurdle, which if we just look down here, you will see that they're talking about the 9,200, 9,500, and also importantly here, the 200-day average support at 9127. So let's have a look at this in a bit more detail. There you go, that's the bit I was looking for. It said the outlook, however, would turn bearish only below the 200-day moving average support at 9127 that we see here. So let's have a look. You can see there, as I've pointed out many times before, the power of the 200 bar moving average. You can see the market holding at this level at the moment, also forming a bit of a triangular pennant shape there, which generally the market would move to the upside. But at the moment it's stuck in a sideways range, so we've got to wait for it to break out. And you can see this here, it's very clear that the range is becoming narrow. It's a bit like a coiled spring, a sideways move, and the energy sort of builds as it trades in this sideways move, as accumulation goes on by the big boys, and then eventually the market will break out one way or the other. But this energy, if you take the distance of this, by the way, from the start to where it ends and then measure it vertically, that is generally the height of the move as well. But at the moment, not a lot happening there. A bit of a move to the downside yesterday that we can see there. And then we had a bounce back at the 200 bar moving average, along with the minor psychological level that we see here at 9250. The market coming back there. And meanwhile, in the stock market, more good news yesterday. Sparks Equity go chaos, but batters bonds and bullion. So bonds down, interest rates up, and bullion being hammered because the news coming out yesterday moved the market to the upside. That was the IMS news at 3 p.m. Came out just slightly higher. However, let's have a look at how things panned out. So we'll start off with the daily chart, and you can see that the market is continuing to move higher, but this is starting to look really weak in my opinion. What is there left to move this market to the upside apart from Trump's deal with China, which did spark a bit of an up move during the overnight, but has since faded? You can see the market above the recent all-time high that we saw way back in July. But there's just no volume. There's nothing moving this market. Another interesting thing that's come to light here is this inside of the article, where you will see that there's a record short in VIX futures. Now, this is either one of two things: the Federal Reserve trying to get the implied down by selling short futures, and that way giving stability to the market, removing the risk. Otherwise, they are speculative shorts by punters. But either way, there's record shorts, and when you get this, you're likely to get a squeeze, which means also what we see here is a move and a corrective move back down to the 200 moving average. And this is also confirmed, of course, as we look at the implied volatility. We're down here moving up slightly as well, which is interesting, from the 1104. So the options sellers looking a bit sort of nervous about things as well down at this level. As night follows day, as I've shown you many times, and probably every morning in the alerts, once we get moving to the downside, you will see the corrective patterns coming into this market, as this market is due for a correction. No doubts about that. So yesterday didn't really do a lot. You can see the market moving lower below the 200 MA. It comes back with some buying and then jumped through on the ISM news. Came out, as I said, a bit slightly higher. It's all it needed, but then it was sold into very quickly as the market traded back down to the DP level and the psychological level down here at 27,450. The market then traded sideways, as we can see here, up to this high, sits at the towards the 76% retracement and DP level before we see the buying coming in here and then moving back above the 200 bar moving average back to where the selling took place, and then prices drifting lower. You can see they're rounding over before the end of the session, and then prices sideways to higher and currently sitting at both the resistance of the 200 MA and the DP level there at this time. However, price is above the 20 bar moving average at the moment. The only other thing is, or last couple of things, is the 10-year is now sitting at 0.30. Not seen this level since way back in February of this year. So you can see that interest rates are rising in the background. Not good. Certainly not with the repo market as it is at the moment as well. And Deutsche Bank, I reckon this is where the money's going on the overnight. Again, you can see prices for Deutsche Bank back above the 200 MA. This is certainly one that's participating in the repo offer from the Fed at the moment, as well as JP Morgan is the other one that I know of at this time. Okay, that will do it for this one. Apart from we've not seen what news we could expect today. Let's have a look. There's no high impact news today. Nothing at all to move the market. So it's down to Trump's trade deal and hopefully things remaining steady. Otherwise, keep an eye on a corrective phase in this market coming down the line, because the market's looking tired and needs a shakeout. And all things are pointing towards this at the moment. Okay, that will do it for this one. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.